Share number 12. Thee there but for the grace of God go I, Guy. So this guy, Bernie, or perhaps Benny, he was the one who really helped me without knowing it in the rehab, along with another lady who had been there before too. I overheard this lady say to some other patients that the last time she was here, she hadn't even caught her flight yet, but the last thing she remembered was standing in the airport to go home from the rehab, looking up at the departure screen, trying to find her flight, popping pills. I guess she was a pill addict. Anyway, this guy Bernie or Benny, he was just like chain-smoking king-size cigarettes, making jokes about the nurses and the food, and he had the whole big book underlined and everything. He was really like the life of the party amongst us patients. He'd been there before, and before, I think 9 times. He was really intent upon teaching all of his fellow patients about that part of how it works in Chapter 5 of the Big Book, about the actor who wants to run the whole show, arrange the lights, the ballet, the scenery, and if only people would do as he wished, he'd be happy, but you know what usually happens. He knew all the passages in the Big Book. It was when I looked at this guy and I felt his anxiety and his bewilderment and his inability to stay sober each time he walked out of the joint, even though he was the jokester he was, that I knew I was going to be able to stay sober, because I didn't want to be like him. Those 2 people helped me without ever speaking directly to me. So that's the basic premises of AA. Bill looking at Bob and Bob looking at Bill, one alcoholic coming into contact with another, creates a learning, healing experience for both of them. Later at a meeting one time when I was sharing, and I'm quoting, as I'm quoting for the conclusion of my share, the bit about there but for the grace of God, I end up saying, it just suddenly rolled off my tongue, I'm a firm believer in the there but for the grace of God go I, Guy.